Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. So, this is episode... I had checked earlier, and
We always seem to forget right when we start the video. We
just
forget,
and I'm the one that
what
has to
episode
say it. I say it out loud.
Are we at 20?
Could be. It could be.
I think we're at 20.
So, yeah, we made it to 20. How about that? It's become less than a weekly thing, but that's okay because we've been posting a lot of videos otherwise.
It'll probably be a lot more... there's probably going to be more known hockey podcasts once the season's done and all that.
Yeah, it's very spaced out right now, and kind of like how we've been putting a lot of our Star Wars stuff in the back burner. In our defense, though, the Star Wars stuff should come... When should it be seeing for it to come back? Because, when does Bad Batch come out?
Bad Batch, it comes out on May the 4th. It starts...
Oh! A day before my birthday!
And Star Wars Day.
Yes. But more
not surprising because...
But more importantly, the day before my birthday.
Or 3 days before mine.
Who cares?
Jackass. Okay.
No.
It's okay. We're a minute into the video. I can say that.
Yes, actually. Let's be honest. They don't monitor these videos. Statistically speaking, no one watches these videos.
Statistically speaking, it's a bot that does the monitoring.
Yes.
It's not some guy behind a keyboard
The bots
being like, God, take these away. They gotta go.
The bots could not be bothered, honestly. So let's get into some of the
bots
topics.
are welcome.
Okay, so you don't know much about this one, but I do.
Yeah, I haven't.
I've been watching a lot of Buds in the Box. You guys should check out because they're Because statistically speaking, if the views on our Jets game reactions are anything to go by, when we play the Leafs, a lot more people like to check in and see what we thought of those games. Also, there's a gazillion Leaf channels on here. So
I was about to say, who knew that the Toronto Maple Leafs market was big?
Gasp!
Big surprise.
The biggest city in Canada has the biggest market for hockey? What?
Isn't their franchise worth over $1 billion now?
It might be.
I think
it might be the only one.
I think it's the only franchise in the
No,
NHL
there's no way it's the only one. Think of how strong the American dollar is. You're telling me that a team that plays out of Madison Square Garden doesn't have a strong one? Like the Rangers, the Bruins, the Blackhawks?
Maybe the Bruins or the Blackhawks. I can see maybe...
The Habs probably pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, Habs fans are everywhere.
There's a lot of Habs fans. I've seen a lot of Habs accounts on here.
Because I was under the understanding it was the only one. It is the only one so far to hit $1 billion. I'm not sure, but
I'm not sure. Anyway, so Jack Campbell has become the starting goalie for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and this is interesting to me for a couple reasons. So let's go through some of the goaltending options that the Leafs have. I'm not really going towards the minors because let's be honest here. During the tail end of the season, it's very unlikely that the goalies from the minors become real heavyweight starters. The only time I can really think of that becoming true was Jordan Binnington.
I was about to say Binnington.
That's the only.
Were they going to send him down to the ECHL?
Yes,
that was
that
the plan.
story.
And then they're like, "Oh, he got a shutout. Let's keep playing him."
It wasn't even just that. It was that, hey, you're going to the ECHL. No, I'm not.
What are you talking about?
It's like he's declined us. I guess we can't send him to the ECHL. But anyway,
won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, but anyway, so the goalies they have, the three main ones that they talked about is Frederick Anderson, who before this season was pretty much widely regarded as the starting goaltender for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
Backup Jack Campbell, who came in that deal, I believe, with Jake Muzzin. I believe he came in with
Sparks. Was that the third one?
Sparks moved around. You're way behind, my man.
I forgot.
They brought back Michael Hutchinson.
Oh, Hutchinson, that's what
Yes, because he had a brief stint in Colorado, which, if anyone remembers, he had a very good playoff series against the Dallas Stars, although they would ultimately lose in 7. So let's break in the three goalies here. So Hutchinson, Frederick Anderson had a good start to the season, but especially in that losing skid that the Leafs went on, has faltered quite a bit. And his goals, above expected, is low. I don't know the exact number, and if I'm going to be completely honest here, the numbers of those analytics always confuse me a little bit. I can humbly say that. But I get the gist of what they're saying. He's not living up. He's not playing up to what he deserves, what he should be. that led Toronto to be playing other goaltending options. They played Michael Hutchinson for a few games. He did okay. And then he did horribly, very bad against the Senators. Which got him pulled in under, 5 minutes. Something like that.
That's not good.
And the other goaltending option, which is Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell has done pretty well this season for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And it's funny because I think because he has he has a lower bar to clear than Frederick Anderson, given the fact that he was not their expected first goaltender, as he was massively seen as a backup. However, he has lived up to those potentials, and it seems that he has now become the goalie they're going to run with. So, here's a couple questions I have from this. Is Jack Campbell the starter? I think he could be, but I then think that your goaltending tandem needs to be stronger if you're playing Frederick Anderson as a backup. Because it's worth noting, Frederick Anderson is a good goalie. He's not having a good stint right now. He's having a rough time. Yeah. And the Leafs as a whole haven't been doing amazing. They were on
You know what? To me, it seems like the biggest, issue that they've had with Anderson, at least from what I've seen, is just consistency.
Yeah. No.
Honestly, Frederick Anderson, when he's at his best, he's a damn good goalie. Mm-hmm. But it's just these hot, cold that the Leafs are just not having.
And that's the difference, I think, between him and a guy like Hutchinson. Hutchinson is a bad goalie. And I don't mean this to slight any fans of Hutchinson out there, because I know there are fans of Hutchinson. He had a very inspirational playoff against Dallas, like I said, and he has had brief successes. But the thing is that Hutchinson is a goaltender who is not... When I say bad, I don't mean he's trash, throw him away. No. He's just not at the level that a lot of younger goaltenders are at right now. He is seemingly past his prime, I would say. He was a goalie that never really lived up to the higher echelon of goaltending ideals. And that's okay, because there are always goaltenders that are going to be like that. That's fine. But I would say that Frederick Anderson is not a bad goalie, he's an inconsistent goalie. But, moving from there... what I think needs to happen for the Leafs then is they need to figure out what they're going to do with Anderson, because I don't think you can really have him act comfortably in the backup position, because worth noting, he's a UFA next season. Oh, sure. I would trade him. I would trade Frederick Anderson because everyone seems to be behind.
Now here's
Jack
my
Campbell.
question: you could do that, or you could pull a Detroit and remember when Detroit had Mrazek and Howard. And the big thing was that there was no clear starter. It was just play Mrazek, he's gonna play great. Mrazek falls apart, put Howard in until Mrazek, stops crying, and then you put him back in net, and then you keep going back and forth. So the question is, do they do something like that?
I don't like when we see that. The only time that I've seen that.
So I do think it makes sense, like you were saying, to maybe make a move. Now here's the question: where would you move him?
And here's an
what would you want in return?
So this is an interesting take. I don't know what you'd want in return, but I would move him to a team that's buying at the deadline. That's outside the North Division.
Who's buying a goalie?
Here's why they're buying, though. Okay? Mm-hmm. Why they're buying is because Frederick Anderson is a UFA. Mm-hmm. It's hard. Most of the guys that are at UFAs going into the deadline are guys that you're giving to buyers, because sellers don't need UFAs, because sellers can just are usually the ones giving away because they want picks and prospects. They don't need guys that are doing so-so or okay to just kind of hurt their tanking odds. For example.
I guess the difficult situation I see Toronto in is that it seems like they need to sell Anderson.
Yeah, I would
to a team that's buying. However, I know Toronto is obviously interested in buying, as they're doing pretty well in the standings. They're in first place, which is why I heard that they were kind of looking towards Ekholm.
I heard about the Kane. This is the problem, though. Okay, I don't know what they'll do with Anderson. There is an option they can like I said. I would just trade him maybe, but again, thinking about it a couple seconds later, I'm not sure. It's very easy for me to say these things not being a fan of the Maple Leafs. I am a Jets fan.
And I think what's tricky, one of the most tricky things in
that
trade is...
They need so much.
They need a decent amount, because they need to get some sort of defenseman. They need some sort of goalie. But the question is, who wants a goalie right now?
Only thing I can think of that might want a goaltender.
Who would want Freddie Anderson right now?
Maybe Carolina. Maybe. Because Carolina has had... No. Because Carolina's demons in the playoffs has been from their goaltending tandems failing them. That could be the missing piece for them. But anyway, the thing I will just say quickly...
if you can't beat them, join them. David Ayers edition.
The Leafs need, apparently, is a second-line winger, because apparently Alex Kerfoot is not good enough for them. Oh, yeah. Which I can kind of understand. I actually prefer Hyman over Kerfoot. They need
so
another
your
defenseman.
solution is just change the Lions.
And their goaltending tandem's a little shaky.
Yeah.
They're a good team, but what they're asking for is a lot, and I don't know how much they're willing to give up for it, which could really hurt them years coming. Yeah. Now let's move on from that, because that was a good topic.
So should I bring up the thing?
Yes, you should, actually.
So the NHL has just announced they're changing the way the draft lottery works. There's 3 main changes that are happening. The first change is that what would happen in prior years is that they would pick 3 lottery winners in that, and then they would pick one of the 3. And when I mean pick, they would draw.
Yes.
And
every year Detroit would drop 3 spaces, and it would hurt them
every single year.
Every year.
And I had argued about this because I was mad as a Red Wings fan, seeing my team, who so desperately needs a great player, have the best odds, or second best because Ottawa had multiple picks, and drop 3 places and not out of the top 3 completely. If you are the worst team in the league, you should have a top 3 pick, even if it's number 3. And I had argued about that, so I'm happy they're making this change. However, there are 2 other changes that are going along with it. Edmonton, you are not going to get to win as many draft lotteries as you want anymore, as there is now, I believe, a maximum of 2 in a 5-year span draft lotteries you can win. I believe after that, they just repick.
Really?
That's what I heard.
That's
check the Sportsnet or TSN or whatever it was. I believe that's the other rule. And then the last rule was that a team can now only move up a maximum of 10 spots. So if you just barely made the playoffs, I'm sorry, but you're not getting the first overall pick no matter what. You can move up quite a bit, but you will not win.
So
which means that we could theoretically have 2 draft lottery wins, but the team that was supposed to get the first overall pick will still get the first overall pick.
You're right on the 3, by the way. You're right on them. Yeah.
So that I think is interesting, because think about it, because you have, now that Seattle's going to be coming in, you're going to have 16 teams not making the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I guess we got 1 more year before that of draft lotteries.
Right.
So 15 teams don't make the playoffs. So those 5 teams that just missed, if 2 of those 5 win, then I believe it was, if the 2 of those 5, is it the 4? Because I think, number 10 can technically move up, but
okay.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, they would not be able to move up and take the top spot. They'd only be able to move up 10 spaces.
Mm-hmm. So
interesting.
Here's the thing, okay? And I want to kind of work on the back of that. What teams do you think are sellers at the deadline?
Sellers?
Yep.
Nashville?
Yeah. It's funny. I think Nashville is it's annoying because with the COVID regulations, you want teams to sell, you want the trade deadline to move up a little bit, because not necessarily because you want them to be rushed in their decision making, but you want those players to play in the regular season, especially in Canada, because for us, if we're trading with a team like Nashville, because I want Ekholm, I can't say how badly I want Ekholm.
We had to wait 2 weeks to use Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Mm-hmm. And then there was that carryover period of him having to get into the lineup, get comfortable.
Yep.
It's worked out fine now, but as opposed to a guy like Jack Roslovic, who pretty much got to go into the lineup right away with the Jackets and has fit in very well.
Yeah.
So teams that are sellers, I don't think the Jackets are sellers because they're 500, and I think in their mind they can catch the Chicago Blackhawks. I don't think I think Dallas could become sellers.
I don't think that. I think Dallas, what they'll try to do is, I think based off their playoff run last year, they're going to kind of cling on to hope.
They're 10, 10, and 8.
See if they can get the. Well, no.
They also have games in hand though, because they had that COVID delay.
Oh yeah, Dallas got kind of screwed.
They have 28 games played. Everyone else has 31, 32, or 33. in their division.
Yeah, I guess with Dallas, the way I look at Dallas is that I think Dallas will try to kind of hold on and see if maybe this was just a bad year, and then next year we'll go into it, see if we can kind of rejuvenate that core to the way they were playing in the playoffs and see if they can get anything.
Yes, I think it's...
So cling on to maybe lost hope.
Right. I would say the important thing that makes a seller is also when your contracts are expiring. And the biggest sign of a seller is when you have UFAs coming up the next season. The guys that... I don't even know if Ekholm's contract is due next season. It might be the season afterwards. However, Nashville has been on the verge of blowing things up for the last 2 years now because they've had 2 mediocre seasons. Arguably 3 if you include losing to Winnipeg in the second round.
Yeah.
Afterwards, they lose to Dallas in the first... And it's funny because the team they made was almost like they were trying to design to be the anti-Winnipeg, like a strong defensive core, not the strongest offense, but like a counterpunch team. The problem was that matchup with Winnipeg, and I'm not even sure if that would have worked against Winnipeg because we would end up beating them a lot in the matchups. That matchup with Winnipeg in the playoffs, though, never happened because neither team would advance from those situations.
Yeah.
And they lose to Dallas in a series where their power play just could not get going, and then they would lose to Arizona, very, very embarrassing showing where they just couldn't get anything going.
Yeah.
I see a lot of problems with Nashville. They don't have any offensive core that really impressive.
I guess
everyone can be moved. I think
Buffalo selling?
Buffalo has to be a seller.
I
Buffalo has to be a seller, and Buffalo
would they sell a guy like, for example, they got Taylor Hall for 1 season, right?
Taylor Hall's getting sold. I 100%, I guarantee it.
Now, where is he going? That's the question.
Okay, so this is the thing. I think
Toronto!
The scariest thing that I can see happening, the nightmare situation.
No.
I don't think there's no way he'd go to Colorado because Colorado has a perfect team pretty much right now. Like Colorado is scary.
I was thinking Edmonton.
A healthy Avalanche is scary. Edmonton maybe.
McDavid, Draisaitl, Hall. Here's
the thing though. Hall's stock has hurt a lot from playing with the Sabres. And it's actually funny because if anyone wants to go back and check, I please implore you to do. I gave my thoughts on Hall and why he was signing in Buffalo. And I said that he was doing this because he will probably be one of the better players on the Sabres and he'll have a great season even if the Sabres suck. That hasn't happened. He's had a bad season on the Sabres who still suck. I don't see him re-signing in Buffalo. Honestly, Buffalo, you need to go back into rebuild mode. I don't know how to say it properly, but this is Buffalo. The only guys that I like on the Buffalo Sabres are Rasmus Dahlin, who's been meh. He's struggled with Buffalo, and Victor Olufsen. Victor Olufsen is my favorite player on the Buffalo Sabres, and also because I know enough to pick him for fantasy hockey. That's the other reason.
Back to the fantasy.
No. Olufsen, no. And here's why.
Yeah.
He was almost a point per game in the first season that he played with the Sabres. In his first season, the problem was he was injured for a lot. Or I think it was closer. Let me just click on his stats here. Victor Olufsen, because he had a very good starting season with the Sabres. Yeah. So his first official season as a rookie. Because rather than getting 4 points in 6 games in the 2018-19, 19-20 he gets 42 points in 54 games. That is good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Now he has 20 points in 30 games. He's one of the only guys that I can see sticking, becoming a part of the next core for the Sabres. Which is a blessing and a curse for Victor Olufsen because the Sabres have no structure. I feel so bad for fans of the Sabres like Melody Martin, who has watching some Sabres fans, the light has gone out.
It's
they've
depressing.
lost 14 straight games. How do you do that? Yeah, granted, their division is probably one of the toughest ones, but this has been this isn't even getting humbled. This is getting embarrassed. They can't beat New Jersey.
And you know what you know why I really feel bad for Buffalo? Because it's not like a situation where their fans will go away. The fans are there.
Yeah, the fans have to watch.
They have a good fan base. The problem is that the team just never can get anything going, so there's nothing for them to cheer about.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's very...
Because, Florida, you might see some of the fans, slowly walk back into the building as the team starts doing better. Who knows? But,
Yeah, no, actually, Florida's been doing great. Okay.
They've been doing very well.
Sellers. So, are the Wings sellers? I don't know who they could give away.
Maybe Bobby Ryan, because they signed him onto a 1-year contract.
That's true. That's
Bobby
very
Ryan.
true.
It's funny. As soon as they signed that contract, and they signed it for 1 year, I'm like, they're selling him at the deadline.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought, because I said, I know what Yzerman's doing here, and god damn it, I love it.
Okay,
I love it.
Do you think Anaheim could be sellers? We know who the Golden Goose is, but I don't think they should sell him. The Golden Goose is John Gibson, but you don't sell John Gibson. And I actually like... No.
Frederick Anderson.
I said this in our predictions for the season. I really like Anaheim's young core. Like,
they're good.
And don't get me wrong, they're 9-18-6. Like, they're not ready yet to take over the reins.
Oh, but they will
Sam
be.
Steele, Troy Terry,
Zegras.
Trevor Zegras, Maxime Comtois.
Oh, they're gonna be good.
Friggin' Jamie Drysdale. And, who's the other mother...
I forgot they had Drysdale.
Yes.
Jesus.
It's a good...
That's a scary core.
That's a scary core on the rise in the future. Like...
So don't move... No, don't move Gibson. No.
Rickard Raquel, though, is apparently the guy that can get moved.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, so I'm looking at their team right now. They have, Drysdale's got 2 points. Zegras has 5.
How's Boston doing?
Boston is going to be buyers because Boston always seems to be buyers. Yeah. Boston is
now. What are they looking for? What are they looking for?
They might trade Jake DeBrusk because Jake DeBrusk. Jake DeBrusk apparently was looking at...
What do they want? Fit. What are they buying? The buyers, what are they buying?
I don't know. I don't know what you want from them.
What position are they in?
Maybe another defenseman? I don't know, though. They are in 4th place in the Eastern Division. The only team that I think I'm actually not worried about, in my opinion, I'm not worried about...
the Islanders in first?
Yes. Islanders have a long win streak that no one's talking about. They've won 9 games in a row or something like that.
Shit.
Or they lost one recently, but it's
they've been doing very well.
They've been doing very good.
The Barry Trotz effect.
Isles girl is very happy about that.
Yeah.
But they've been really well. Philly's not though. Philadelphia, Carter Hart just hasn't been good for them right now, and it's been a rough time. He's looked bad. I had to drop him on my fantasy team because he was literally costing me weeks. He would put up a minus 8.5. It's bad. Oh, here's an interesting stat line I want you to see, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, Mario Lemieux's points per game, in his highest in the last 25 years, this is the highest in the last 25 years, from 2000 to 2001. That's his season.
Yeah.
1.767 for points per game. Mm-hmm. McDavid, highest in the last 20 years, 1.765. That is a scary stat line. Because McDavid just doesn't, he doesn't slow down. McDavid he just doesn't.
The fastest guy in the world.
But no, and his point production doesn't slow down ever. And it's what do you how do you stop that man?
You know what you do? You trade him to LA. Trade him to LA.
LA's a weird team. But anyway,
they never did win a cup with him though. So.
Who? Gretzky, yeah, they got close in '93. They made a cup final.
Yeah.
They lost to the Canadiens. No, and then honestly, I think that Blues team that he was on would have went pretty far if they didn't run into if they didn't have to deal with, if they didn't lose, if they won against Yzerman in what's it called? If they beat Yzerman's Red Wings, I would love to see Gretzky's Blues against Waz Avalanche. I think that's Waz Avalanche that year. Because let's be honest, around that time, there was no team in the East winning the Stanley Cup. You crazy? Nah. There was not a team in the East to win the Stanley Cup. Until the Devils came around, there was not a team. Yeah, because Detroit was in
the West at the time. Yeah, I forgot about that.
There was not a team to do it. It was just, There was Detroit, Colorado. That Blues team was good.
Detroit and Colorado, who absolutely hated the living shit out of each other.
Yes. Well, yes, that's another time, though.
Yep.
So, actually, this is one thing I want to mention. Montreal, first two COVID protocoled.
Yeah. And I heard who the players were.
Armia and Kotkaniemi.
Oh, that's not good. That's not
Wait,
good.
is that not who you heard?
I said that. No, that's what I heard. But I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
that's not good.
Out of the two players, here's it. Out of the two players that were placed on the NHL COVID protocol list, only one player actually tested positive. The other player was placed on the list as a precautionary move because I'm guessing
They probably were.
they haven't said who tested positive. Just
Neither one is good.
Joel Armia and Kasperi Kotkaniemi, two Finns, probably talk a bit. Like they probably
Makes sense.
like they probably hang out a lot together. That's probably why they were both put on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's unfortunate. That's all. Like,
That's not good, no matter who it is, because both of them are pretty.
well, especially Kotkaniemi is
Especially
really.
yeah. But they're both very important to the core of the Canadians.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, it is what it is. Honestly, like, let's think of like one other thing. Maybe we'll do.
Did you
one other thing.
text me about any other topics or?
I texted you about what would the Jets like to look for at free agency, but we don't know how much. Ekholm is the one.
That's who we want.
People thinking we should trade for Vince Dunn. I would like Vince Dunn, but the problem is the St. Louis Blues are 16-11-5 in a Habs. This is literally becoming the Habs and have-not division. I said it was. Look at that stark difference, like the contrast between 4th and 5th. I literally said this.
Here, let me see the point difference. Oh boy.
Yeah, 37 points to 32 points.
Line's pretty clear.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the Blues are making it, and the Blues, if the Blues are smart, granted, I'm not sure if they are because they just signed Binnington for $6 million for 6 years.
Let's talk about that.
No, let's not get too deep into it. But all I'll say is this: I wouldn't have paid him that much. I wouldn't have, not for 6 years. I would have given him maybe $6 million for 4, not 6. I don't like. He seems a little. Ever since
Nervous.
his rookie season, yeah, he's been a little hit and miss. But it is what it is. And if that halts some of the production from the Blues, they've won their cup.
If you're Binnington,
Yeah,
you're taking the money.
Exactly. Also, we'll just cut it here. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. We're hoping to do these whenever we can. We do appreciate your guys' thoughts on some of the topics we discuss, or just comment down below something that you would like our opinion on that's around the league. We're not sure when the next goal or no goal will do. It's going to be on one of the off days when the Jets don't play, obviously, because
we're not doing 2 videos in a day.
Yeah, we're not. We don't like doing that.
No.
Unless there's like a Jets trade that we have to cover, then we'll do it. But
Unless it's absolutely necessary.
Yes. Yes, but do check out that series as well, the goal or no goal. It's done okay. Not amazing, but and then check out some of our older videos.
Yeah, check out our goal and no goal. Check out our other No One Hockey
Yes.
podcast.
And if you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe because we are actually really close to 300, and I don't think we were predicting we would hit that.
No, we predicted 250 by the end of March.
And
we've surpassed that.
Yes. Thank you very much for everyone who subscribed. We really do appreciate it. This channel's been overperforming what we thought we would do. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Oh, and follow us on Instagram at No One Hockey Podcast.
Yeah.
See you next time.
I thought this one might work.